In Greek mythology, Hades is one of the most enigmatic and misunderstood deities. Often feared and misrepresented as a malevolent god, he actually played a crucial role in maintaining balance within the cosmos. Unlike the other Olympian gods, Hades rarely left his domain, ruling over the dead with a stern but fair hand. His myths, relationships, and symbolism offer deep insights into the Greek perception of death, the afterlife, and justice. This video explores the origins, myths, and cultural significance of Hades, shedding light on one of mythology's most fascinating figures. Hades was the eldest son of the Titans Cronus and Rhea. His siblings included Zeus, Poseidon, Demeter, Hera, and Hestia. According to myth, Cronus, fearing that one of his children would overthrow him, swallowed each of them at birth. However, Zeus, the youngest, was hidden away and later forced Cronus to regurgitate his siblings, leading to a great war known as the Titanomachy. During this war, the Olympian gods, led by Zeus, fought against the Titans for control over the cosmos. Hades played a key role in the battle by using a helmet of invisibility, gifted to him by the Cyclopes. After the Olympians emerged victorious, the universe was divided among the three brothers. Zeus took the sky, Poseidon claimed the seas, and Hades was given dominion over the underworld. Despite this division, Hades remained an Olympian in status, though he was rarely seen among the gods of Mount Olympus. Unlike the Christian concept of hell, the Greek underworld was not solely a place of punishment, but a vast and complex domain where all souls went after death. It was divided into various sections, each serving a different purpose. 1. Elysium, a paradise for heroes and virtuous individuals. 2. Asphodel Meadows, a neutral zone where ordinary souls resided. 3. Tartarus, a deep abyss where the wicked were punished for their crimes. 4. The Fields of Mourning, reserved for those who suffered in love. 5. The Isle of the Blessed, a special section of Elysium for those who had lived 3 virtuous lifetimes. Hades' realm was guarded by Cerberus, the 3-headed dog that prevented the dead from escaping. The river Styx, a mystical river believed to separate the world of the living from the dead, had to be crossed with the help of Charon, the ferryman, who required a coin as payment. One of the most famous myths involving Hades is his abduction of Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. The story varies in different versions, but the most commonly accepted version states that Hades, enamored by Persephone's beauty, sought permission from Zeus to take her as his wife. Without consulting Demeter, Zeus granted his approval, and Hades seized Persephone, bringing her to the underworld. Demeter, in her grief, caused all plant life to wither, leading to a great famine. Zeus, seeing the suffering of humanity, ordered Hades to return Persephone. However, before she left, Hades tricked her into eating pomegranate seeds, binding her to the underworld for part of the year. This myth explains the seasons. When Persephone is in the underworld, Demeter mourns, leading to autumn and winter. When she returns, Demeter rejoices, bringing spring and summer. The story of Hades and Persephone is often interpreted as a representation of death and rebirth, emphasizing the cycle of life. Unlike other gods, Hades was not involved in many myths, and his character was largely defined by his responsibility as ruler of the dead. Despite being feared, he was not considered evil, but rather a just and impartial judge. His role ensured that the dead remained in their place, and that order was maintained. Unlike Zeus, who was known for his temper and infidelity, or Poseidon, who was vengeful, Hades was seen as stable and fair. He rarely interfered in mortal affairs, except when necessary. Some of his most notable myths include the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, Orpheus, a talented musician, ventured into the underworld to retrieve his wife, Eurydice. Hades was moved by Orpheus's music and granted him permission to take Eurydice back, on the condition that he not look back at her until they had left the underworld. Orpheus, overwhelmed by doubt, looked back too soon, causing Eurydice to vanish forever. The 12 labors of Heracles. One of Heracles' final labors was to capture Cerberus. Unlike other gods who often opposed heroes, Hades allowed Heracles to take Cerberus as long as he did not harm the creature. The punishment of Sisyphus and Tantalus. Both Sisyphus and Tantalus were mortals who offended the gods and were condemned to eternal punishments in the underworld, reinforcing the idea that Hades upheld justice. Hades was often symbolized by darkness, wealth, and the cycle of life and death. Because the underworld was believed to be filled with precious metals, he was also associated with riches and was sometimes called Pluton, the giver of wealth. Unlike other gods, Hades did not have many temples or dedicated worshippers, as he was feared rather than revered. Instead, he was honored through burial rituals, which were considered essential to ensuring a smooth passage to the afterlife. The Greeks believed that improper burial could result in a restless soul wandering the earth. Some cults, such as those involved in the Eleusinian mysteries, honored Persephone and Demeter, indirectly acknowledging Hades. These secret religious ceremonies promised initiates knowledge of life after death and a hopeful path to Elysium. Today, Hades remains a popular figure in literature, films, and video games. He is often depicted as a villain, largely influenced by later Christian ideas that equated the underworld with hell. However, modern interpretations are beginning to embrace his complexity. Some popular depictions include Disney's Hercules, 1997, a comedic and villainous portrayal of Hades. Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series, a more nuanced version, portraying him as a misunderstood deity. Video games like Hades, a critically acclaimed game that explores his mythology. These adaptations continue to shape how audiences perceive Hades, blending myth with modern storytelling. In conclusion, Hades, the god of the underworld, is one of Greek mythology's most intriguing and misunderstood figures. Though often depicted as a dark and fearsome deity, he was neither cruel nor malevolent. Instead, he represented the natural order of life and death, maintaining balance in the cosmos. His myths, particularly the story of Persephone, continue to influence culture and inspire interpretations across various media. By examining Hades through the lens of mythology, history, and symbolism, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of life, death, and the afterlife.